Alright, this is episode number 3 of Bankrolling on Bovada. We're still in the $1.10 turbos, single goes. We've cashed in 2 so far. We took third, unfortunately, in both of them, so hopefully we can get a better result today. And we are only 1 or 2 hands in while you got everything all set up. So we're just going to stick to our normal style until we have to change it up a little, so we're just going to play pretty tight and see what develops. So, the series has been going pretty well so far, I think. Can't complain with 2 sit and goes and 2 cashes so far. I'd like to get a win so we can start kind of getting the ball rolling pretty quickly. Move out of the low-level dungeon as soon as possible. Unfortunately, on Bovada, there isn't too many bonuses for the poker room, so we're just kind of take what they give us. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Bovada, it is a US-friendly site. They do have the anonymous player feature, so there will be no screen names, there's no history with players, it's just just numbers, and who you've got is who you've got for just this session. So there's not really too much point in having a HUD, so we're just going to play based on observation. And to speed up the process a little bit, we might start doing some multi-tabling. We might try to play 2 or 3 tables at once. Definitely want to do that when we get to the cash games because there'll be a lot more to talk about, but for right now, we're just going to try and do the 1 table and see what happens. We are in the Super Turbo games, just because they're a little bit quicker, they're a little bit easier to watch. The dollar normal structures are kind of boring, so I decided to can those, and we went to Super Turbos. Probably going to let the Queen 10 go by as well. Can't imagine, especially when the guy opens 5x, we're not playing Queen 10. If there was a bunch of limpers and it was 15 to win a lot more, then obviously we would be completing, but not against someone that's opening that big. We don't know too much about these players, player 8 and player 9. 9 seems fairly active early on, so I don't think that we're going to try a button steal. We do have a limper from somebody who I believe that's the first hand they've entered, so I think we're just going to give this up. Not really limp means from 6. Makes a quarter pot bet. And bets full pot on the turn, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Ace King will definitely be playing. And I'm going to make it 5x. I like to go 3x plus 1 for each limper, so we have 2 limpers, so 5x would be 150. Alright. We're just going to go half pot. Half pot looks good. And then we take it out. Half pot was what, like 185, and that's fine. I mean, you can go anywhere from 185 to, you know, maybe 200, 220. Anywhere in that range, I think, is reasonable. And king queen's good enough for a raise here. We've got 1 limper, so we're going to go 4x, so make it 200. We've missed the flop here. Not really sure if a continuation bet will take this down. We're going to try it. I think 6 might get a little suspicious. Want to get in there. He's pretty active. No, we took it down. Okay. I mean, I don't mind continuation betting. It's just hard with 2 people, even though the flop was pretty ragged, so there wasn't too much that would concern us. I think most pairs would have called, and we would have just have to given up on the turn. Bovada seems to be a fairly stationy site, so I'm slightly reluctant to continuation bet on here as often as I would on a different site. Of course, there's things like 7 just did where they're just spazzing out for 1,600 chips, 25.50. So we chipped up a little bit, and we're in first at the moment, looks like. Yep. So we're slowly inching our way to the $30 mark, so we can start playing some of the 5-cent, 10-cent limit games. I believe the only 5-cent, 10-cent full ring limit games that they have is Limit Hold'em. So we're going to try and grind that up to $40 so that we can start playing the 5-cent, 10-cent stud games, which are actually fairly profitable. I mean, you're not going to pay for your Maui vacation with 5-cent, 10-cent, but they're still decent games. So I think that's the game plan for the next few levels, is that we're going to get up to 30, play Limit Hold'em, 40 to play the stud, and then maybe around 50, 55 we'll take some shots at some MTTs, maybe play some $2 sit and goes. Not really keeping a solid bankroll system in mind. I'm not being super rigid about we have to have this many things, but you know, I've got a fairly decent idea of how I would like to structure this in my head so that we don't go broke. We'll pick up some tournament tickets and stuff out of points as well, especially in the cash games. They seem to be fairly generous with your player points, and we will be looking at some of those events. I don't know if they have any big tickets. I think they're mostly just tickets to qualifiers, but there might be some like $2 MTT caches that we can play. I haven't really looked at the structure yet, to be honest, so And I'm sure that we're not even with playing only three $1 sit and go, $1 sit and goes yet to getting anything for our points. But we will be using our points to our advantage. Every little bit helps. So 7's 4x, he got a shove from 5, and now he's thinking about it. I'm not really sure what happened there. Basically committed, what, a third of his stack? Fourth of his stack? Although 5's been pretty tight, so maybe 7 was just making him a move with a hand. And I guess he still had room to raise full, but it just looked kind of weak. Nine is fairly active, so it's actually probably one of the most active players here. So we're not even as blind. Don't really see a point in playing the ace-3. Again, I think 9 just kind of likes to call, so we're just going to let him do his thing. We've got a limper in front of us that probably isn't going away, and it was a shove anyway, so the ace-3 is obviously no good now, but could definitely make an argument for... Wow, okay. I did not expect one of the tighter players at the table so far to snap with Queen-Jack offsuit. Interesting. Alright. So the blinds have creeped up. We're in, what, second place now? So we're going to start opening our range a little bit now that we're a little bit shallower stacked and one less player. Don't think we're really into shove territory just yet. But we can definitely re-raise shove on some of the laggier opponents. Mainly looking at seat 2. I always forget to knock that down. Seat 2's been pretty active. 9's been fairly active. Those are probably the only two people that I'd really play against with a less than quality hand. Seven deuce is not a quality hand, or even a less than quality hand. There's an all-in. Good call. Ace back against 2-8s. And 8s are going to hold. And we have lost another player. Yeah, see, these turbos, they don't last too long. It's fairly easy competition. Not sure why 3 is raising to 825, leaving him 125 behind. Ooh, the 10 got there. Actually, well, technically his ace got him there at the end, but 10 worked out too. I can't imagine talking garbage in the chat at a $1 sit and go. It's just amusing to me. Why on earth would you just run your mouth like you're the greatest of all time? And you're playing a $1 Super Turbo. Chop it up. I think that's a chop. Looked like it. Maybe that wasn't a chop, actually. There might have been, I think that 8 won the side, I guess. Yeah, 8 won the side with ace, and 6 won the side with pair of kings. Okay. Looked like a chop. I was just weird the way it was. Wasn't really paying attention. So all in. We'll happily fold our queen 3. Okay. 2 queens. I mean, this is obviously just going to go all in. We got what, 17? Or no, I'm sorry. We got less than 10 big blinds, so we're definitely just going to pop it in here. And okay, Jack. Okay, well that was a cooler, but well, these things happen. So we will try this again in the next episode.